Okay, so I wanted to ask you a question. Sometimes I don't know, like when the universe is like sending me a message and like how to decipher them. And I'll give you like a point of what happened to me yesterday. I was I wasn't even in a bad energy. I was in a good state of mind, like good energy I felt. I didn't feel I was out of alignment. But I was like hanging my clothes up here and I like stood on top of a bench and out of nowhere I like fell and I don't even know how that happened. I just fell and like I landed on my right side and I ended up having like this mark and I like laid on the ground. Like I was like no one was there really and I wasn't sure what that meant, but at the same time I didn't want to like add thoughts to it. But I just laid on the ground until like I gathered myself and that just occurred to me like I know I shouldn't be paying attention to like the thoughts or things like that, so I let it go. But at the same time it was like what did that really meant? Did it mean something? And if it's the universe telling me something and if it's really the universe telling me something, how do I decipher a message that I don't know how to like decipher certain messages from the
So,
universe?
like for most of the time, it's always about the coincidences or the synchronicities, isn't it? Like whatever happens to us, it's for a reason. So it's you need to believe in that, and that's the reason. Like you even questioned it because that there is a meaning to that, isn't it? And also, it's about yeah, and especially when you fall off, or you hit your toe, or you cut your hand, or something like that. It always has a meaning because it just doesn't happen. The leaf moves and the nature responds, or you see a bird, like anything, the happy feeling, the recognition when you see a light, like all of that doesn't happen on its own, kind of a way. I mean, there is a meaning, it happens for a reason. So what happened with you yesterday, or that incident, also says about self-love thing. And also I mean, it's there's a fine balance or a fine difference between what really happened in that moment. I think what happened with you was in regards with your twin. Something like that happened and you felt it in your body. So at that time, what you do is, whether you cannot like encode you know the message, or if you cannot think what the message is, or if nothing comes through or whatever that is. So whenever it happens to you, when you hit, like it kind of like questions you, or like it taunts you, or stuff like that. When you need an answer for it, you need to give that away, that feeling away. At that time, just send love. Basically, be love from the beginning to the end. All right, so that's all it's all about. So when things like that happen to you, you just be love,
Yeah.
irrespective of what you do not know. So there are certain times and like where we feel sadness, even though we are not sad. You don't know from where you're feeling the sadness, or why you're feeling the sadness, or whose sadness it is. Is it your twins? Is it yours? Is it someone who you're related to, or whose sadness are you feeling? So thinking about that sadness will not like help you move anywhere, other than being love, and like putting it out, like being love, just being love, being in alignment, and being in like how to come out of a purge kind of a energy. If you know how to do that often, and being aligned, being centered, and coming out of it, you will have a better understanding of everything, and even the meaning of what happened to you at that moment. So whenever, for example, I've heard a lot of twins say that, like as soon as they hit the purge, they're like, oh my god, maybe it's him, maybe it's this, and why me? I just thought I finished, I did clear a lot, isn't it? I just clear a lot, and
Yeah.
now there's another trigger. Like how many more triggers? And all of that energy will just keep you held down in a place. So no matter what that is, when you said you were in a happy state before that, be grateful for the
Hmm.
being in the state, and be in the gratitude energy, and do what that is you have to do. But something like this happens, you never know whether it's for your twin, or whether it was for you, or what it is. But you send love at that moment, and in that way, when you do that, if it was for you, you know, you sent enough love in, or if it's for your twin, you sent enough love in. You are love. So you are
Yeah.
that. So that's all about it. So just be love. And after you come out of it and you feel better about it, and you kind of like come to a realization. So always a realization is never in the same place of your anguish or your pain or your trigger or anything. It's always, no matter how angry you are or how hurt you are or whatever that is, you need to deal with it. You need to come out of it. Once you come out of it, when you learn how to purge. So that's the reason I keep telling both of you that watch the purge videos over and over again, because the messages are big, and it'll resonate differently at different points in time. So once you go through that over and over again, once you learn about it over and over again, you have new realizations and you'll know how to come out of those situations. So that's what life is: to be love, and happy, to be love and you're not happy. All right. So that's what it's all about, and as well as like, yeah, I think that for this, if I keep talking, I keep talking and talking and talking about a lot of things. But I think, so basically, especially when you hit your toe, when you cut, or when you get a hurt, or when there are things which is happening like that, you need to know that you need to be loved, and don't try to, judge anything, judge anyone. Be loved, be centered, send a lot of love more inside, and come out of it.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that, like you said, it was my twin. Um, I actually like told my twin about it, and he said that he ended up having a mark yesterday on his left hand, or something with like a boiled water or something like that. And I was like, okay, but
All the best divine masculines on your left side, I guess, if that's what it is.